What's up guys, this is Bubbleknight here. Welcome back. We are gonna finish this game, I swear. This is probably one of the longest game that I've ever tackled in my entire career as a YouTuber. So, let's do it. We can do this, guys. Alright, so Ashton. Everything has to do with the mansion sale. Even those who work on it, doing the renovations to clean up everything.
Including your mandatory sign-in sheets.
It's an odd thing to bring up, but at least it elicits a laugh from her before she heads down the record room. She remembers. And no matter how weak the sound of it from her usual, it's a welcome thing to hear amidst the office stillness. Takes the edge off, if only for a little while. Reminds me that Isabella I know is still in there, in spite the load she visibly carries. She returned minutes later with a thick stack of folders and binders. Ermengarde Mansion. Wow, for the next half an hour, we'll work in complete silence while we dig through every property file compiled in the folder. Not an easy task considering how thick the whole thing is, but there's two of us. In fact, Isabella does most of the work, sorting, separating the contracts, the employee list, and the stuff we don't need in the need pile. Just the correspondence and the contract for the restoration alone makes up for a stack of papers that's an inch thick. Third-party service provider hired masonry, radiators, woodworking, plaster work, slate roofing, and a whole bunch of other things are well documented. Hell, every single contractor working on a project is individually listed, even if they're just there to do the plumbing. It's high profile and high cost these days, alright? But with the scope comes to the loopholes, means plenty of room to hide something in, if there's something fishy going on. All I have to do is read through it, find a pattern that'll prove or refute my suspicions. And it doesn't take long. Upon a closer glance, despite the original owner showing the renovation costs, it'll be surprising if they manage to break even on the Ermengarde Mansion. What with the additional expense for the open house, the commission for the agents, and the other overhead fees? At one point, the negotiation to get it listed under BRC's name almost broke down too. Some disagreement about the listing price. The owners wanted to get rid of it as quickly as possible while keeping the worth at a profitable level. BRC was insisting on a higher amount, double what the appraisal suggested. This plus the idea of the branches closing, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that BRC Luxmore really is in the red, and the sale of the mansion could easily be in a desperate move to keep the branch afloat.
No wonder the final sale happened as fast as it did. Did you know about this?
No, they took it off our hands after I submitted the final documents for the sale. I didn't even know until I read this.
Yup.
I'm not sure if Rose did. I've only been given the key to the records room after she... Anyway, my point is, they've kept all the files from me. Rose was the one who compiled everything from our side. And even then, she was probably not aware of this. There's only so much they let us know. After that, they just told us to wait for our commission, and that the legal team would handle the rest. The rumors are true, huh?
Seems so.
Sheesh, this place is just unlucky. Going bankrupt while the rest of this crap is happening. But this isn't what we're looking for. What we need is the who. The people aside from Isabella and Cooper involved in this business with the mansion, and how they are now. We can't do much with these contractors. They won't be on file as employees. Still, leave no stone unturned. Look at their name. See if anything jogs my memory. Gotta get a copy of said names so we can look at their contract detail up. Check if anything comes from that. Aside from those, we shouldn't dwell on these. Although, even with two people working through the pile, the whole task still takes quite a while. It's a quarter of an hour later when we put down a paper with a sigh and move on to the clients. After every important detail we may need to have been noted down. The clients next, upon Isabella's insistence for that. The sign-in form for the open house comes in handy. What the heck? Even gives me life when I spot a fake man roll on one of these sheets.
What I even picked this name? It sounds so lame.
What's your name?
What name?
The one at the bottom?
Nothing important. Just focus on those papers you have.
The
We
beat
need to
time
finish this
wild?
soon, before...
She snatched the paper from my finger before the thought of hiding it occurred to me. Not that there's much secret in it. Isabella find me in the afternoon anyway. Though perhaps under the wrong assumption why I'm there, but still.
Ash Lee?
I'm curious that day, telling Luke right without confirming they were off to. While the butler is terribly efficient in keeping the Wright's engagement from the public eye, there are other ways. If only I've been given the time of my day. In retrospective, I've been too eager, too impatient to be done with the case, to find something that'll crack it after a year. Maybe my failure goes as far back as the day of open house, not during the party last night.
Yeah, well, I was pressed for time.
Seriously? Ash Lee? Were you even trying?
Oh, come on. You didn't even notice I was the one who wrote it down.
Of course I wouldn't. Only an idiot would use his real name.
It worked, though. Admit it. It's genius. Who would have thought, huh?
She responds with a roll of her eyes, then drops the matter entirely by shoving the paper back to my hands. While we lapse back to our respective tasks afterwards, wordless, skimming through everything read. Set aside, get another one. It's almost methodical, and in the time we spend here, we manage to work out rhythm. There's not much time for friendly banter anyway. The clock is ticking down on us. I'm giving it another 30 minutes until Seb realizes we've been here far longer than as a simple I need to get my stuff from the cubicle requires. The more we prolong our stay here, the more difficult it will be come up with the alibi. Of course, if he's sleeping on the job, it certainly works to our advantage too. No need to think of excuses that could potentially branch off on awkward, but there will be time to worry about that later. Looking back at a sign-in sheet, I spot Luke Wright and Hannah Wright listed on up top. Wow, that's bright. Not that I don't know about them already, of course, but skinning through the list, a name immediately comes to my attention.
Madeline Williams.
Something wrong?
Huh? No, just that I remember this girl listed here.
She frowns, move her seat closer and take a careful read at the sheet. There's a long moment before she speaks up again. But from the way she tenses, she appeared to expecting the worst already.
What about her?
She was with me, in the group following Cooper, when we toured the upstairs part of the mansion, I mean. Rather loud one, especially when we took a peek into the attic. Kept talking about the ghost stories the whole tour.
Then, do you think she's...
She was reported missing 3 days after.
Oh, great. There was a ruckus at the precinct in the day her kin filed in. Threats were naturally given the lack of progress days later, desperate ones. Her family is ready to shout out the cash they can just to find her. To no avail, unfortunately. Officer Benjamin has been in a bad mood ever since he spoke with them. But what can he do? What can we do? He's tied. We're all tied. There's nothing much we're able to do, with everything that has been shoved in our hands recently.
She still hasn't been found. It's already been a week.
Isabel makes no further comment aside from a nod. Instead, she merely sits back on her chair with a distant look in her eyes, her hands balling to a fist in her laps as she struggles with her frustration. Or maybe it's anger. If she keeps at it, she might draw blood. But the moment doesn't last too long, thankfully. Soon her grip loosens and she folds her hand back to her on her lap. The expression on her face, however, it's one I've seen too many times in the mirror. What does one say to a person burned by not one loss but many, who carries on her shoulders like a badge of shame? I've yet to find the answer to that myself. Until then, the only way is forward, press on. And despite my own doubts and the uncertainties, a cursory glimpse of that look on her face is enough reason for me. I can't just give up. There's too much at stake, too much to lose. With a renewed focus, I continued, scanning through each of the names for any sign of familiarity. if I overheard any of it in the news from the reports coming in the precinct. On the third and the last sheet, I spotted another one. Beatrice Wild. One I recall from newspaper obituaries. Died of a heart attack. What? A letter correspondent expressed a condolence to her family, confirmed as much in her files. Passed away at age 74 in her sleep.
She's at that age. It certainly could have been a natural death.
Right? Because if Isabella is to be believed, I'd like to believe so. But 3 more letters turn out when I rummage through the stack. It leaves nothing more than a forebody feeling in me. They're all addressed to families of clients who have passed away in the past week. Regardless, these go in the piles of things worth looking into after our visit here, along with the Williams info sheet. There are just too many names, too many faces. Each one I've seen that day, and here I am wondering if they're all right. It isn't selfless thought that brings out the question to mind. Rather, it's the logic that if more of them are still alive, the more people I can choose to question. Nothing's concrete yet, but we're making progress, even though the whole half is a bunch of unfounded speculations. Once done with the sign-in sheets, I hastily stash it along with the growing pile to my left, and pull as many of the other documents Isabella has already prepared for me. We're working through the employee list now. Those have been assigned to the mansion. Because Isabella is to be believed, what if she is seeing and what happened to Rose Coopers because of that letter? I need to know everyone who has possibly read it aside from the 3 of us. I need to confirm they all know the strange things too. For all I know, these can just be a terrible coincidence, although the thought of that starts to diminish as the pile beside me grows. 15 minutes later, the stack close to my elbow has risen from 5 to 21 different dosers. Clients have employed documentations. People have either visited the open house or work on the property in some capacity since the letter's discovery. Turns out there have been 2 more BRC employees who directly handle the mansion aside from Cooper and Isabella. Kristen Tsai, the realty specialist, and Mark Julius Jean Marie, the estate appraiser.
This C guy, he was in custody just the other day.
Really? Sir John has been looking for him. He stopped reporting to work a few weeks ago. Are you sure it's the same person?
Yep, this is him. Folks at the precinct said they went to his house after a noise complaint. They found him just acting all crazy. Had to take him in when he started getting violent. He kept screaming about a woman.
Yep. Immediately she stiffens. I don't want to bring it up or imply connection to Isabella's story, but exactly what happened.
It was driving the guards mad, but he didn't last too long in there. A few hours in, and he just started bashing his own head against the wall, and it was messy, to say the least.
Oh no, we had no idea. Is he okay? HR just marked him as AWOL because none of their calls would get through.
He's in the hospital right now. I heard they're putting him into a psychiatric ward as soon as he recovers. He's still a bit unstable.
Jean Marie, on the other hand, his employee file marks the day of leaving and the events of his full payment have been given. Along with it, a letter to his family about the appraiser being found dead in the office. Communication is hush-hush, and there's mention of compensation if they don't like to talk about to the media. Inspector Abigail has often scolded me for not regularly reading the reports, but I try not to keep up to the date as much as I can. When I do, I make sure I'm aware of the gist of what's going on in my city. This has never reached the police ear on the health and safety executive.
Do you know about this guy?
One glance at her says everything. They have hidden it from the media. They have kept it from the police. Not surprising, this will also be a secret from someone in Isabella's position in this company. Fuck. Exactly.
Rose was looking for him last week. We haven't heard anything from him either. Until now. They never mentioned this to us.
Business going under and someone dies while working here? Of course they want to keep that mom. the bad publicity. The whole thing is just getting freakier the deeper we delve into this. Nevertheless, I handed the files for Isabella to make a copy of.
The pages with their names, addresses, and contact numbers will do. We'll start with the ones who live within the city.
Sometimes there are things you can't really just brush off as a mere coincidence. In my mind of work, once a pattern pops up, it's only right to be suspicious. Especially with the thing with Sai. Well, see? He has two similar to stuff my own friends have been telling me.
All of this?
It's a conservative, thinner stacked than the one she brought in. Yep, somehow the way she hugs the folder closer helps make it seem heavier. Like she's hanging on to it the same manner one would latch to a lifeline.
Only the noteworthy ones.
And those might be just life. Might. She doesn't need to know that little tidbit.
We can't check the outside contractors, but the guys with the direct connection to BRC and the people who attended the open house should be enough. We don't have time to see how everyone's doing, especially if what you said is true.
For a second, she appears about to argue, then quickly decides against it, hides it away before anyone reads the question in her face. Then, in a too abrupt motion, she turns towards the copy and gets to work. Soon, the machine constant throng fills the data around us, while I keep myself busy cleaning out the mess of paper we made. The lack of talk is awkward. To put it mildly, disturbing at worst. I've gotten used to letting her babbling away whenever it's just the two of us. What she has to say always felt more interesting than I can come up with. Never the talker I am, always continue simply listening. I can tell, however, she wants to do more beyond digging through the private records and photocopying personal files. She wants to fix whatever mess this is herself, and the desire makes her antsy. But at the same time, she's learning how not to be impulsive or stubborn, exactly as I have told her yesterday, before agreeing to any of this. Or maybe the so-called changes have always been with her. Dire situations have always pushed people beyond what they're comfortable with, after all. To do things they normally won't, to show a side of them they usually don't, to change. It's not something I'll ever blame her for. I understand in some odd ways I've been in the same position before. Though seeing this happening in front of me, it only makes it difficult to find proper things to say. In an atmosphere this tense and charged, while knowing that it might be looming over us, what is left for us to talk about? Certainly not the news. It's not as if there's a lack of effort on my part. It's just that, well, not everything sounds as neatly as it does in my head once the words slip past my lips. Blunt as they often are. And sometimes, too much effort brings up the opposite effect. It gets worse when you realize all this is in hindsight, right after your mouth has already run ahead of any decently strong thought.
You know, for a house your company seems to be in a hurry to sell, they still made quite a fortune out of it. Look at this. 1, 2, 3... 6. Are you sure they're planning to give your entire share for this? This isn't a small amount, especially given the usual cut. And their accounting department isn't in the greatest shape either.
Even if they don't, it's not like someone still needs it.
Suddenly the sound of the copier cover slammed down and go across through the room, drowning out the rest of her voice, weak as it is. And there's another reason why people don't let me talk. A quiet once again, descending throughout the room. Through denser compared to the ones we shared tonight. Behind me, I can still hear her movements, sharp and precise while she fed the original copies through the machine. Probably the last one from the last ones I handed her. Then with the last beep, all of it stops. Her feet shuffle lightly against the floor when she moves away. Something creaks softly, probably a table as she settles her way against the side. By this time, apology is already at the tip of my tongue. It never makes it out though.
Belle,
Papa's gone, Ash.
Oh my god. Oh, now I feel really bad for Isabella. A quiet admission. Every syllable spoken under her breath. Almost like a secret she has never intended for anyone to hear. But in those few words, in those scant few seconds, everything between us shifts as the gravity of each thinks. Right then and there, something harsh and movable arose between us. Death is something I'm familiar with. Almost 10 years in police force, and it's impossible not to be aware of it in some capacity. But this is different from those dead bodies we examined in forensics. A far cry from the victim we found in a bad investigation. Those I can easily distance myself from. No emotional attachments, no need for pretenses. I can do the same thing here. In fact, I never met the man. I've only heard of him from Isabella. What he sound like when he reprimanded her. They need to stop using all these big letters. What makes him tick? Well, what his habits are. She has left them for me to imagine. Yep, somehow I still find myself grasping for the things to tell her. Any word of comfort that will dull the pain. Because even without looking at her, her grief feels palpable enough. Her pain in an immutable way hanging over us. So gently I offer. Okay. Relationship status. We're gonna go. Oh, okay. Be sure to raise your relationship with level. Ashton, tell me about him.
When?
Did that raise it a little bit? I guess.
Huh? When what?
Your dad. I mean, when did you find out?
She does not answer. Not immediately anyway, but a lingering moment, the hush simply stretched out before us. Swimming across the minutes, the seconds, we let it pass while both of us simply stands there, waiting. Unmoving, without exchanging anything else except for the soft sighs and a gentle breath. Eventually she exhales. Lightly muted enough that I might missed it, had I not been paying attention to her every movement.
Yesterday.
Oh man.
Around 3 in the afternoon there. Mama called. She told me he passed away in his sleep, and
that's the only comfort in this. Like, anyone passing her sleep, I think it's a blessing. I don't know why. It's just getting too deep into those. So
I guess I can take comfort in that, huh? That Papa wasn't in any pain when.
Yep. She throws out, releasing another rag breath hidden underneath her chuckles. Each one mirthless, heavy with nothing but sorrow. Then she falters into silence. And for all my attempt to lighten her burdens, I'm suddenly at a loss. Reassurance can only do so much. But when her only reason for staying here has been taken from her, a hope abruptly yanked from under her feet. Right after it has been generously given, and without that, without the one person who pushes her to endure, all the shit we're going through and through, she's going through, means nothing but a struggle. I am, here, hold on. I'm just gonna check, alright? What if I load?
Just stay busy and you'll be okay.
Okay, cool. So we made the right choice. I'm just checking, we're cheating, so. But does one say to a person frayed at the edges, slowly wearing thin and breaking, are words even enough? What right do I have anyway? I cannot give her anything, apart from lies that have utterly changed me as a person. In affection, she may or may not even want her for herself, because no matter how easy she has worn herself into our lives, how immutable her presence has become, her own heart will always yearn for something else, for home.
Tell me about him.
Huh? About what?
Your dad. Tell me about him. Anything. Just talk. Say anything you want. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll listen.
Silence again for many minutes, as if she's testing the weight of my question. For what purpose it is, for a reason even I can't offer right now. After a while, though, she starts, reluctantly, her voice hitching, faltering, and stumbling each syllable as she chews her words. A rough start, but it soon steadies. And along with it, to keep her company with a story from childhood and memories she is fond of. Oh no! I feel really bad for Isabella, just because recently, I mean, I had the same experience. Like, my grandma passed away like in late May. That's when I had the emergency leave. So, damn. Despite this, in spite of the grief choking her words off, and the hurt closing her throat, and the sobbing racking her lithe form, she continues. Like the mere act she's speaking is relief in itself. A release, she tells of her father, the very person who named her, and she looks up to him. And she was a bit of a tomboy growing up in her attempts to imitate him, and how the men encouraged her to pursue what she really desired for herself. Perhaps even the only thing she ever did, having grown up not only wanting anything more than food to put on the table.
He told me I don't have to listen to them. That I can do what I want. Every day, he'd wake up at 4, Ash. Because he'd earn more that way. And every single time, he'd give them to me.
Damn.
Whatever extra he earned, he'd hand them all, so I'd have something to use for my paintings. And you know what? Back home, just a good tube of paint costs almost as much as what we spend for food the whole day. But he'd always set something aside. Told me he wanted to see my paintings in a museum one day.
She pours all of it out, every little thing she has loved and admired about him. And like this, it's easy to see why she's gone such great lengths for him. And why she leave her dreams, why she went against his wishes, just to grant him another chance at life. Others will say it's a warmth that draws people to her, or her cheer. Neither are wrong, but neither is the whole truth to her either. Because those who has never bothered to look beyond the surface will never see her. See someone earnest, someone who has always meant well, a bit her underlying stubbornness. This is how she loves, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. You never meet many people like her, not in my line of work. Not with the kind of people I had to deal with. Always something to hide, always with something to lie about. Eventually, you run across too many of them. You change. You become one of them. You become like them. In many ways, for a lot of reasons. She's the kind of person I want to be and be around with.
He didn't want me to leave. Begged I could finish my studies first.
Little history, like my dad's pretty much the same way. It's pretty similar. Oh man.
In the end, I couldn't even grant him that one request. I'm a terrible daughter, aren't I?
You're not.
Huh?
What the crap? What's the expression on his face?
You're not. I can't speak for your dad. I haven't even met the man. But I know you're not.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this. The remark just came off. And I'm stringing all these together as I go. One thing certain about all these, none of what I'm about to say is a lie.
The Isabella I know is a total klutz, but I've never seen anyone work as hard as she does. She's the type who wears her heart on her sleeve, though it's not necessarily a bad thing. She's intimidated by a lot of stuff, but she knows how to appreciate the smallest things in life. Frankly, you've caused us no small amount of trouble since you barged into our lives. But when I'm with you, all of my worries seem trivial.
Oh man, he has already creeped on my face when it registered, and I turned this whole thing about to take. Before I blur the rest of it out, declare feelings I'm not even ready to reveal to anyone, much less to her. My hands comes up and smother the rest of it. Though embarrassment quickly takes the reign, before I can completely clamp my mouth shut.
And I'm pretty sure Zach and Becca think the same way. You have a nasty way of growing on people like that, and you know what? We got everything we needed in here. I'll just wipe the security recordings and we're good to go.
Oh man. I mean, even I feel bad for Isabella.
While I'm at it, you better wipe the snot off your face. And you don't look very nice when you're balding like that.
Hastily, I gathered everything: the personal file, client documents, sale agreements, and contracts. Anything my hands can get a hold from the table. In record time, it has been stacked in a neat pile, ready for storage. I'm carrying the entire of it back to the records room. Whatever that is, it should be an easy find, unless this place is made so sort of, which I highly doubt. Still, be sitting here and seeing the look on her face, especially in the case Isabella has heard the last bit of what I almost let slip. Crap! Really, her anger is still bearable. I can take that, including the glow she sends me, right before I take my leave.
So, yeah, I'll go get the security videos and put these back where you pulled them from. Man, these are heavy, you know?
Ash, it's just paper. You don't even know where I...
Oh, no, I can handle this. Easy as pie. And, yeah, security cams, tapes, videos, cams. Yeah, I'm off.
Her rejection at this point? Maybe not yet. Getting the file back to BRC archive is a cinch. With the documents in hand in its place on one of the label shelves, I locked the door behind me, tucking it twice just to make sure. Now on to the next order of business, removing the evidence of our little excursion in here, or at the very least the parts showing that we have been doing during the past hour. Either way, we can have our faces plastered on security footage, showing us breaking the law as well. I'm going to have to wipe the data for Isabella's access card entry too. Surprisingly, finding a security room proves a breeze. What will tricky is get inside. The fact that no one has walked out during the whole time we've been here means that the room is either empty or the security guards sound asleep. I'm betting more on the former. If they're cutting corners and firing agents, I have no doubt in my mind they've fired the guy stationed in here, if they have anyone watching the monitor in the first place. It's a rather common thing for establishments, just leaving the security recording indefinitely, and only check footage if something actually happens. Just to check, I pressed my ear against the door, listening for a sign of anyone occupying the room. After a long minute and nothing, not even a sound of someone's breathing, I gave the door knob a few rattles.
Standard lock and key. Should be easy enough to pick.
We have the lockpick set aside for those who are only used if necessary and with a search warrant. Even then, it's a skill set really needed. Subtlety isn't a cop's priority. Their authority to search the premises. Bolt cutters and brute force are the favorite methods. If those fail, we call a locksmith. Me, I prefer the old hairpin trick when those options aren't available. Besides, they're easier to hide and store for emergencies. Running my hands through the hair, I pulled up a pair of bobby pins. Two of these and I can just open up any standard lock. One makes a lever and the other makes a handle. I won't call it complex skill, but it certainly takes time and a lot of practice to successfully pick a lock. Good thing I practiced with them for a bit in my college years. I've learned more when they're accessible and standard issues for a law enforcement officer. I wiggle here, click there, I managed to seize all the pins and the locking mechanism. Soon enough, with a slight turn of the knob, the security room is ripe for the picking. The room's odor first hits me, a sharp, nauseating stench, as if someone has accidentally spilled a gratuitous gallon of bleach in the room. When's the last time they opened this place?
Ugh, this place smells awful. Jesus, it's worse than the forensics lab on a bad day.
Probably because of a bad botched effort to clean the place up. Even in the dark, I can spy a disgusting stain in the wall. I really don't have the time to try to decipher what they are though. I don't have time to play is this ketchup or soda right now, but I have the strange gut feeling who the mess might belong to. As expected, no security personnel man in the office CCTV controls, and the standalone DVR setup is open for anyone. Normally, I have a heap of things to say about the sloppy security setup, but right now, Their negligence made the whole task of erasing evidence easier. It's as simple as going through the menu, search for the file tonight, and recording and, well, deleting
No
it.
fuss, no muss.
The next one should be the access data, card data. Hopefully getting to their computer won't be too much of a hassle. Everything's up. Now there's been smooth sailing. There have been hiccups, I'll give it that, but though it does nothing to dampen the good mood I'm in. Once I shift my attention to the machine sitting next to the DVR setup, all of it swiftly evaporates. I am no computer buff, but I can definitely recognize one more than a decade old. Simply looking at it makes me feel younger. I have no other choice, however. With a heavy sign, I power it up and mentally prepare myself to a slow. Apparently remains an understatement here. It took a whole 3 minutes for the thing to start up. If the OS hasn't even started loading in my boredom, I started inspecting the live feeds from the cams. Only 2 of them works, one for the view outside and one for everything seeing the water there, and the other for main workspace and where Isabella is fleeting in a glimpse. And a cursory glance, but the sight of it stops me. What the crap? The image is a bit blurry, but standing there, right in the middle of the room by one of the cubicles, I can make out a form of a person, aside from Isabella.
What the hell is...
I don't get too far into that line of thoughts. No few seconds after my words had slipped out, without any sort of warning, while I'm still trying to make sense of what it is, the figure moves. Not across the office floor, but right towards the camera. Gradually, as it nears, her features grows cleaner. Deathly pale skin and hair like ink. Too real and too close. Stands out in the dark contrast to the artificial image shown on the monitor. A moment of paralysis hits me when she stops right in front of the camera. Like a damn rookie, I go still in the face of danger. Nothing but an odd clicking noise and the pounding of my own heart echoes in my eardrums. I definitely haven't been trained to handle this supernatural. And this is one, isn't it? And... oh fuck. Her eyes bore into me, the malice in them, piercing even beyond the screen. It's easy enough to make me go numb. With only the mug crushing forward, my hand accidentally swipes it, snapping out of the trance, reminding me that I'm not the only one there, only one here. Isabella! That's right, get to her! Her phone on the screen suggests she hasn't noticed anything. Am I the only one witnessing this? In any case, whatever is happening, I have to get her out. Gathering my wits, I quickly reach my phone and dial the number, while keeping an eye on the figure staring back at me. It takes about 2 seconds before she answers, although there's no time for relief.
Ashton? Did you really have to call? We're practically on the same floor.
Get out of there.
What? What are you...
Out. Get out. I'll meet you in the elevator.
You're creeping me out, Ash.
Just get yourself out of that place, now!
I end the call with a click, and without second thought, I run back from the controls from the room, ready to be done with this place. But before my foot even crossed the threshold, without any sort of warning, she disappeared from the screen.
Son of a...
Oh shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I was expecting to do something else. Oh, good thing I was like, should I even press any button to get me out of here? Alright. You want some? Let's do it! Instant take over. My hand quickly reached for the gun at my side, only to mere empty air. Though authorized, I always leave it in my car. A mistake that cost me a few precious seconds, while the paperwork I brought with me trying to scatter everywhere at the same time. Gathering them myself once more, and with no weapon to protect myself, my sense of self-preservation kicks in next, and I lunge towards the door. I sprint across the office floor without daring to look back. Isabella are waiting for me in front of the elevator by the time I push myself out of their office. Wolverine creases her eyebrows up upon glancing at me, but I don't have the time to answer the question in her eyes. And so as soon as I reach her, I grab her arm, practically throw the 2 of us in the open elevator, and slam the button for the ground floor. A sigh of relief escaped my lips when the elevator started to descend. The clicking noise that seemed to be announced the ghost presence fades into the distance myself. Besides me, Isabella shifts, moving the stack of paper under her arm while she takes my appearance. Concern her eyes. though I can offer a small gesture of my hand while I attempt to compose. Breathe. In and out.
Why are we in such a hurry?
We need to get out of this place. Did you get everything?
Suddenly, I feel so good for Ashton to see that ghost. After all these episodes, right? Man, my hands was like, oh man, which button do I press? But good thing hasn't anything been happening. Let me see the tree. Was I supposed to die over there? Was there a chance for me to die? And no. But there is potentially a different route that this could all take. Just stay busy, come around. Oh, the whole thing was for that little bit. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's all here. But really, you don't look too good. What's wrong, Ash?
I'll be fine. I was in the security room. From the monitors, there was a fucking...
The rest of the say dies on my tongue when the elevator stops and door open. Instead of stopping on the ground floor, however, it completely skips. Wow, I like this. Where this is going now. It just dropped us to the building basement. There's a moment pause while we both take in our surroundings. Confusion understandably there.
Oh, come on! They should just replace this whole thing.
No, I'm quite sure I pressed for the ground floor.
Right? But just as Isabella says, it's an old building. The elevator always did have the problems when I visited in the past. It's probably didn't register it right. Even Isabella becomes so angry whenever she would try to get to her floor, and she always had to repeatedly smash a button for the elevator to even move. This was always good for a laugh. I wasn't too worried then. Nice! All of it completely changes when I hear the clicking noises again. From a distance, beyond the light's reach, echoing my ear along with the rapid pounding in my chest, Isabella stiffens. Her eyes grow wide and her whole body freezes at the sound. Gingerly, she reaches out to grab the hand of my sleeves and grips it, hard, tight enough for the fingernail to dig through the material. If we had to wait out, I have no doubt she'll run right this instant. As it is, the only thing she can do is hold on to me. Her eyes are searching wildly for a source of a sound, while I stand protectively in front of her.
Ash, did you hear that?
Man, this is so cool. I don't know why, but if it's me hearing that sound, it's like, come on, you want a piece of me? Come and get me. I'll punch the shit out of you. And worst case, I said plenty of time before, if she kills me, we're both ghosts, she's gonna get it. So really, there's nothing to be afraid of. Alright?
Anyone there?
No answer.
I can hear you moving from here. Show yourself.
No response. Only soft sounds of something scurry on the floor as the wall slow and deliberate movement faint. Still audible enough in this hush until it stops. A moment.
We need to go, Ash. We have to.
And then a wail. This time certainly isn't my imagination. Against my training, my body stiffens. Hands still minutes pressing a button. I waiting for any sort of movement from further back in the ear string for the source of the sound. I can't even offer Isabella any reassurance, much as I had admitted. Dread has seeped through every nerve of my body. The blasted elevator still won't work, no matter how many times my thumb press on it.
This isn't in my fucking training manual.
Yeah.
Ash, we need to leave. I know that sound. Ash, please, get the elevator.
Another series of shuffling against the ground. A laughter all of a sudden. She's just there. A small... Oh, they're coming. Grotesque from the linger of the far end of the basement. All on the far. Like a twisted spider, she stares at us. A look of hunger in her eyes and venom in the twisted manner she smiles. Luckily, she's well earned. And when the dim flies has been dropped right onto the spider's swag.
Ashton!
Damn it!
Then, without warning, she moves, mocking us with each slow crawl she takes, knowing both at her mercy as she makes her approach.
Fucking hell!
Ashton, the door! The door!
But this isn't funny. Our lives are in the hands of a crummy elevator. Our lives are literally hanging between life and death, whether or not this stupid thing works. Guys, Guys, she's a female. She's a ghost. Whatever, alright? Just lunge at her with whatever you got. We're not going to die here. Not in the elevator. What? 4, 9, 6, 8, 7. Okay. 4, 2, 9, 8, 1. 9, 4, 7, 1. Hey, shit! 2, 6, 7, 4, 5. Oh, 2, 3, 1, 4, 9. Holy crap! Holy crap! I think I barely made it, right? I said this divine power as heard me sewing up the sword in my hand. The door closed just as that thing looms near. Soon the elevator, this blasted thing, is heading up. Damn, I actually want to see what happens when they got caught. Don't you guys want to see it? Let's do it. I'm sorry, guys. I just have to do it. All right.
When?
All right. This is gonna be very fast. Now watch. This is probably gonna take like 30 seconds or a couple seconds actually. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. Oh, what? No. So you can actually skip it once you're done with it.
When?
Damn it. You know, I would cut the video, but it's so short. I don't feel like it's worth to cut the video, right? Besides, aren't you guys feeling cool just skipping this with me? Oh, look at the way she crawls. The animation is great. Hey, buddy. Alright, we're gonna skip you. Isabella's knee buckled in relief. The 2 ticks, she's hugged herself without even care of a mess of papers. In files she has dropped on the floor in her panic. She draws one rag breath after another, each one with brimming but with nothing but relief. In this is the most I ever tired my whole damn life. Been tired. Not during training, when my superior first asked me to do a job 100, not after a stakeout, but after smashing the fucking elevator button repeatedly. I slumped to the ground beside her, worn out. But I don't let myself feel relief again, not until I'm out of here. Isabella seems to be the same mind as she looks at me. Still, I find myself sharing a shaking laughter with her.
We're okay. We're fine. Right?
Yeah, we're good. Alive. Fuck, we should have taken the goddamn stairs.
Yes! Twice I've seen it. Thrice, if including the party, unless I'm tripping balls without realizing it. There's no doubt in my mind that this is actually happening. I seriously don't want to believe it, but with the truth staring at me in the face, it'll be stupidity to deny the reality of the matter. As soon as the lift hits the ground floor and the door slides open, we hightail out of the building, except soundlessly when we pass by his station. However, in the face of what I'm seeing, everything I've faced tonight, we can't really care less who still sees us on our way out. The sooner we get from this place, the further the better. It's not just sure if that also means being safe. She almost got us, damn it. The fucking thing also had us. Hell, I haven't even sorted out everything running inside my head right now. I can see her face, a horror smile as she's about to reach us. Shit, it was only by luck we managed to get the fucking elevator unstuck. Had the blasted thing not working right this last second. I need some air. Fresh, breathable air that doesn't stink like death. And gore all at once. I'm panicking, Christ. Losing focus. With another person here, I can't afford to do that right now. Isabella hadn't said anything, but I know she's more shaken than I am. I can't lose her with another person depending on me.
Remember your training, Frey.
Another deep breath, and soon I'm starting the engines and drive us off. And after a little incident in the elevator, somewhere open would be good. Someplace we won't get trapped. The park? Really? Luxon Park during night always bring a welcome relief, although only by yourself. The chill I see my bones still here. It's still there, furling and unfurling underneath my skin. If I don't move, if I don't busy myself with anything, soon my brain will go haywire. It's a lot of things I want to happen when there are plenty of things to do. But this already answers it, doesn't it? Those deaths? Just how many copies of the letter are out there? Isabella can have the only one. Can have the only one if other people are also getting cursed. Could it be that one she has shown us just one of 5, maybe even more? The whole past this 5 people business is ridiculous, but at this point, is it still? All in all, we found the 21 people who might have read the letter. 7 of them. Deceased 8 if we count Cooper. And that's only with what we can find right now. We have no idea if the contractor or specialist hired from an outside company are doing, if we are any way affected. How many people are in this suffering? How many are missing? How many are dead? Can I even blame the rights for this anymore? If anything, they might be in danger as well. I don't think I can wish for a curse among anyone, no matter how big or douchebag like Luke Wright is. There's also that woman. How do we get out of this mess? How do we get away from her? Shit. Still so many things we need to look into. Yet my body wants to do is pace. Tread the grounds and burn out whatever excessive energy there is in me.
Ashton, I'm getting dizzy. Will you sit down?
It's the first time Isabella has said anything. She has been sitting quietly on one of the park's benches since we dropped here. Better than and less distracting than watching her nervous habits, I suppose. She certainly seems calm now. Too calm, in fact, for someone who has just seen something terrible. But it's been more than a week for her already. People might do get desensitized to things that at some point. Even someone like Isabella. Who knows what's going on inside her head though? Inside her mind, there's too many and none of them would be sit still.
I'm not going crazy, am I? I saw that. I'm pretty sure I saw that. I didn't inhale anything weird. Just shit. Shit. Isabella, please tell me that wasn't...
What I'm not expecting when I turn to her is mirth, barely contained as she hugs my arm close to her body and tries to keep a smile from breaking.
You're laughing. Why are you laughing?
Like I told you so, Ashton. I'm not quite sure how she sees it in my face, but the next second laughter suddenly bursts out from her. Why am my voice acting you a line? I'm so sorry, it's just that you've been seeing the look on your face back there. Yes, right, sure, I'm not the only one who panicked. You almost ripped my arm off. Yeah, but Isabella, this isn't funny. The woman almost got us. We could have ended up dead.
I know, I'm really sorry. But this is just too precious to miss. You really lost your shit for a moment there.
You're trying to get back at me, aren't you?
Well, I'm not the one who kept calling someone scaredy cat for years. How does it feel?
I'm not scared.
Really? Because it doesn't seem that way to me. At all.
I'm not, alright? I just don't know what to do right now.
Immediately after, the moment passes, replaced by another tense silence. Laughter dies on lips as everything sinks in. The weirdness of much bigger trouble looming over us. We're in deep shit, and it has finally caught up and hits us like a ton of bricks. Hit me more than anyone, because she has been warning us of this since day one. I'm the first person who brushed it off. Despite that, she still reaches out to me, tugging at my sleeve, almost desperately. Her hands are trembling and there's a tremor in her voice when she speaks. Without the cheer, only fear remains. One that she has been burdened with from the beginning.
We're still going to do something about it, right?
Yes.
Not just stand around and let that thing get us.
Unexpectedly, she leans her forehead against my arm. and her grips on my sleeve tightens. There's desperation in there, a quiet plea.
I don't want to lose anyone anymore, Ash.
I wish I could give her that promise, but with so many unknowns, so many things I don't understand about this, how can I? Why she still trusts I can do something about this baffles me. It all feels wholly undeserved, considering the way I've been treating her. Yet, despite her reluctance, I find myself returning her holding kind. A grasp, warm and light enough for comfort. Not a promise, but something close to it. Oh man, darkness below my edge of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echoes from the far distance, scurry, scampering, moving in odd rhythm with sharp, piercing notes of laughter. A scream that threatens to burst, but my own throat closes off. Even so, slowly, a chill seizes every nerve of my body, washing away every sensation in me. Apart from one, there's only fear. Once again, her laugh echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It's the last thing I've heard before she reaches out to me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. What's up? Wait, why is she in Isabella's room? Are you guys getting it on? Morning breaks in a blurry mess of vivid shapes and colors. Oddly, there's no feeling of terror or confusion gripping me, despite the vague image that has stripped me from sleep. Awareness takes in shortly, though slowly and sluggish, as I blink away the last remnants of unconscious from my eyes. The early morning lights are streaming from the open windows when the memory sets in, and the room finally comes into focus. Isabella's apartment. Push myself upright, my eyes wandering idly towards her prone form. She hunched over the coffee table, both arms under her head as she continued to rest. Then, to the chaos of paper folder we had left scattered over it, before sleeping has claimed both of us. We bunked down here last night after both our nerves had calmed down. Mine, for the most part, staying together was an unspoken invitation. And anyway, I'm pretty sure neither of us want to remain alone. When there's that woman, is she still one in the first place? The one that would normally call a human? Can it still feel guilt? Does it understand pain?
Fuck. I'd rather get charged for breaking and entering than mess with whatever that thing was any day.
Uh-huh. Not that thinking about this still matters when our lives are in her hands. She's dangerous. If we don't do anything about her and this curse, we'll definitely be pushing daisies soon. I can't let that happen. I've dwelled on this long enough, left my friends in harm's way after the warning they've all given me. Besides, beneath the terror and the adrenaline that's keeping me running, knowing what lies ahead for Isabella makes it hard not to take action. The paper sits on the edge of the table calls my attention, and this light against my hand when I reach for it. It has caught my eyes the night before, but with the lot we still need to go through, I simply ignore it. The logo emblazoned on me at the top of the page. However, it provides this paper a whole new meaning. Not for me, but definitely for her.
A scholarship grant, huh?
I've only heard about her talking about this once or twice, completing her degree, that is. She really goes about it in great detail, preferring to keep her herself. Perhaps it's the fact that when she thinks she's already too old to be chasing after. It has been 5 years, after all, but I've caught enough snippets of conversation between her and Zach to know she had never given up. Despite how things have planned out with her father, she's one step closer to this part of her life. As silly as this may sound, coming from a friend, I'd like to give her a chance to have this. Whether this means stepping out of the comfort zone and figuring out the ideal with this curse is, I'll do so. If only to see that same smile on her form that time again. These days, the only moment she seems to be showing is that she's sleeping. Like right now, no matter how uncomfortable she appears. A smile on her own form, despite this, when I glance at her sleeping form again. She has moved since, her shoulders raising and falling to a slow, even rhythm with her breathing. You won't think she has any problem this way.
If only that were true.
I think I'm talking to Ashton after all this narrating, you know? Sighing, I placed the paperback where I left it, gotten it, carefully so I won't accidentally wrinkle or damage it in some way, and finally pushed myself onto my makeshift bed. Isabella shifts when I carry her off on the floor and over to her bed, but doesn't wake. Simply tuck herself comfortably under the cover. I pull her over her. Briefly though, she mumbles something to herself and draws another deep breath.
Ashton's being dumb again.
She drifts back to a deep state of sleep after, like it hasn't been interrupted by a slight movement earlier, but a small smile on her lips remain. One I find myself returning in kind.
Who sleeps like a rock now?
It's better this way. Better to leave her into her daydream for the moment, which I hope are better than the ones I've had. She'll have time to worry about her problem later when she wakes up. For now, this will be another thing I don't want to take away from her. A moment of respite, no matter how fleeting. She deserves it. After everything she has been put through, what have been put her through. In the meantime, I still have 2 other people I need to check with. Isabella will definitely get in a tizzy if I don't check out them. Cool Locksmore area meets me upon stepping out of the hallway. Not unusual in itself, this is what Locksmore weather is supposed to be. A bit cold, damp for the most part, and more often than not, terribly drab with an occasionally sprinkling of rain every few hours. The sky is still clear, but I'll give it a day or two before the weather takes a turn for the worse. I've complained about awful rain for years, despite having lived here my entire life. I have to admit though, seeing a return to usual feels extremely reassuring. At least, something still normal in the world, when I can no longer think of the same for the situation we're in. A nightmare. That's probably all this is. Usually, I'll say, I've been through worse, but there's simply another lie I've often told myself, isn't it? And I've fed myself a great deal of lies throughout the years. Just so I won't have to think about it the next day. Maybe we won't even have this problem if I haven't been running away and ignore things, hiding them someplace no one else will see. Because I've since believed doing so is a show of weakness.
The fuck do I know about ghosts, though?
What does Rebecca? Zeman has shown me the photographs mentioning weird things happening around him these past few days. Bottom line, he likely knows just as much as this as I do. Why else would he approach me? The guy who knows stuff, according to him. In the end, all I've done is give him the brush off. Some reliable guy I am. Hell, Rebecca's probably in the same boat, grasping for anything that might provide an answer. A way out of this. What can any of us do when all of us lack any understanding of what's happening? One thing clear about this, however, the things after us because of the letter. Both Rebecca and Zach have seen it, too. She go after him as well. Yet here I am, walking on Rebecca's door, one slow step at a time. A stalling tactic to allow myself at some point to put the mess up in my head in a better order. How to phrase this when there's a 90% chance she'll be pissed about a whole different matter. It's the only reason we didn't check on her last night, aside from the ungodly hour Isabella and I arrived. We only alarmed her by showing up at her home middle of the night, acting like a babbling lunatics, and her anger can last quite a while. These days, it seems the only one she can easily forgive is Isabella, but even with her, Becca's fuming still takes hours. I run my hand through the hair and straighten out my jacket before knocking. Once, twice, and 3 times just to be sure she heard me, even if she's asleep. She usually awake by now.
Hey Becca,
though.
it's Ash. Open up. Don't tell me you're still in bed.
Seconds tick by, no answer from her, and dread has started to creep up. I have been trained to handle dire situations, but the feeling has been doing that quite frequently since last night. My mind begins to anticipate the worst, and the next minute, the concern has mixed up with my thought, and I bang myself fist on the door, louder this time. she'll definitely be livid, but rather see a wrath than a dead body.
Becca, it's Ash. There's something we need to talk about right away. Open up. I know you're...
Your girlfriend left early this morning, pretty boy. So if you could do us a bloody favor and shut up, that'd be real fucking polite.
My hand pauses, short of landing another heavy knock. From the other unit, Rebecca's other neighbor peeks through his door, though I see nothing but a bundle of blankets. I'll say they need help from being devoured by their sheets, but it sounds like he's just fine. He's a huge asshole too. Curse of action, so people like him won't ruin your day. Act like the nicest person on the planet. He done me wonders when I was a rookie patrolling the streets. No need for match his temper.
Oh, did she say where she was going?
I don't know. She said something about meeting someone or something, in case Filipina girl over there asks. Well, what am I, her keeper? You know, some people want to sleep in on a bloody Sunday, so keep it down. Just looking forward to this weekend. Thanks, you damn git.
Well, there's no need to be an ass about it. I'll get out of your...
He slams his door shut without warning, but not before murmuring a string of very colorful words about me. Probably thinks I won't hear him inside the fall while he's apart.
Jerk.
Yeah, at the end of it, a sigh. So Rebecca's not here. I've missed it by the hour or so, but at least she's not alone. She should be safe in theory. More so if the people she's meeting with is who I'm thinking. They realize I can hear but worry. It's an easy thing continuing down the increasing darker lines of thoughts. To act rationally to find out where she is and go straight there without deliberating on my actions first. There is act to the boot. Rebecca's not alone, but I can't say for the same for the big guy. A simple phone call for the two both of us should do the trick. It'll ease my nerve at any rate. It's better than rushing over Zach's place where assuming Rebecca's whereabouts and finding out they're not where I guess they should be. So this is pretty much a good place to stop actually. I'm gonna stop here. And checking on the ratio level, we're still pretty good. And I'm gonna check on the tree, the branching tree. Man, this is a couple episodes in. And guys, what is this route? So I'm gonna okay, cool. So I could be dead over here. But yeah, this is a huge chapter. Tell you the truth, guys, I really want to get this done. I don't want to stop doing this, but this is a really long story. So next time, if I were to pick up something like this, I'll probably ask people's advice. How long will this game take? Because this has been consistent taking up a slot, and I want to show you guys like more interesting games. Like I want you to finish, and this is like, I don't know. I might just do like a huge run or something, like a 3-hour or 2-hour run just on this one game so I can speed it up. But anyways, enough of me babbling about this, and we will see each other next time, right? You can come and see me rambling about stuff, right? Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys, and thank you guys for stopping by. Bye.